Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Tim Lankford, and I welcome you to the 11 a.m. National Sales Conference call. If Great, I'm hearing now that we've got a little bit better sound quality. Sorry about that. It's always intriguing how we do a couple of mediums and the sound degradation is sometimes not, the sound is compromised. But thank you for, hopefully you can hear my scratchy, horrible voice, but at least I'm coming through clear. I appreciate you connecting to this morning. I feel honored that you say that this is a call that is valuable to you. And oh my goodness, guys, I celebrate. I have fun with this call. This is absolutely enjoyable for me to be able to reach out and um, be able to help you celebrate in some of your accomplishments as well. As far as if you hear your name listed on the leaderboard this morning, that is what I consider an honor also to be able to share with everyone to say, look, these agents are going out and making it happen for families in the field. And some of the numbers that you guys have put up this week are just absolutely astounding. That it's not only happening as I share every week for the family in the field, because that's what happens. Step number three. The first two steps, number one is your income. Number two is blessing your family and church and charities. Wow, some people have really made that happen this week, and also excited to be able to share with you a good friend, somebody that I spent a couple days with in Dallas a week ago, featured on the call this morning, and this incredibly young 30-year-old, oh my gosh, 30 something guys, someone who is making it happen not only for families in the field. His business partner does more of the personal production, but making it happen by recruiting and training folks like you and me. I say you and me because I'm out there writing this business as well. So anyhow, when we get to John, you'll understand the heart from John and his business partner Jeff. We'll just have John on this morning, but wow, the heart, the drive, the ambition, everything that I want you guys to be able to say, I can do that. I can do that. And I feel remiss not to share with you the same words that Jeremiah said, that I have plans for you. I've got plans for you guys and gals. I've got plans for you to prosper. I've got plans never to harm you. I've got plans to give you a future and to give you a hope. I can't say that's from my wise. I didn't have the wise thoughts to come up with that, but our Lord and Savior did. He has plans for you. That's incredible, guys. For you to have that type of proclamation, even coming from the highest of Almighty, He wants you to prosper. And my lovely wife will start us off this morning. This will probably be one of the last times you'll hear from Beth. We have now Elisha, who's joined our staff and is in office here with me and Jim Meixner, and she will take over beginning with next week. But you guys get to be blessed this week from hearing from my better half for sure. I definitely am out of league with this one, but for almost 18 years, she's pretended to say that, hey, you're still my husband. So I feel very blessed that she said that today. So I'm good to go. But Beth, do I have you on the phone?
Yes, you do. That was quite an introduction.
Hi, sweetheart. Would you be so kind to go over the leaderboards for this week with us?
Sure. I've got the first leaderboard I'm going to do is the top annuity producers for the second week of March 2016. Now, we only have 4 on this list. Usually we have 5. We're going to start with number 4. We've got Rodney Martin, one application for $150,000. Number 3, David Self, one application, $157,000. Number 2, Jason Grossnickel, one application, and premium is $387,710. And number 1 annuity producer for the second week of March, John Kaler, one application for $500,000. Now switching.
Wow.
Wow. Now switching to the top life producers for the second week of March 2016, we have a top 20 list. So we're going to start with number 20, Michael Licata, one application, and the premium is $1,620. Number 19, Millie Gailey, one application, $2,100. Number 18, Andre Dane, 3 applications, $2,182. Number 17, Tim Lankford, 2 applications for $2,203. Number 16, Paul Kozak, one application, $2,278. Number 15, James Walker, 3 applications, premium is $2,307. Number 14, Rodney Martin, 2 applications, $2,488. Number 13, Selena Weston, 2 applications, $2,566. Number 12, Leonor Cortez, 2 applications, premium $2,946. Number 11, Alex Joyce, 4 applications for $3,179. Number 10, Kevin Bianchi, 4 applications for $3,441. Number 9, Stan Targos, 2 applications, $5,366. Number 8, Danielle Byrne, 6 applications, premium amount to $6,237. Number 7, Talia Goldsmith, 4 applications for $6,933. Number 6, Josh Sivak, 9 applications, $7,751. Number 5, Eric Coons, 8 applications, $8,311. Number 4, Zach Lawson, 10 applications for $10,638. Number 3, Brian Elston, 2 applications, $10,877. And number 2, Jonathan Acevedo, 2 applications, premium amount $15,678. And top life producer for this second week, number 1, Linda DiSabato, 2 applications for $19,307 a premium. And that's your list, Tim.
My goodness. So the top 5, what was the number 5 in life premium sales for the second week of March?
8,311.
So the top 5, so you had to break more than 8,500, more than 8,400 just to be able to get in the top 5 this week. Wow. Thank you, sweetheart. You did
You're
perfect.
welcome.
Thank you so much. My goodness, guys, that's a tall order. You think about it, though. Your average application in the mortgage protection program, your average application runs about $86 a month. You multiply that times 12 months, it's about $1,000. So when you hear $5,000 and $6,000 and $7,000 of premium submitted for this last week, I think some of us, we go, wow, that's incredible. I'll never be able to do that. Bring it in perspective a little bit. What is $5,000 and $6,000 and $7,000 in premium when you're helping one person from one family for $86 a month? That's $1,000 there. You do that just 8 times in a week, you're at $15,000. So try to keep perspective with this. When you hear these 8 and 9 and 10 and $15,000, it is more than achievable. If for the folks who met me last week at our expo, you meet me and say, wait a minute, you did how much in a month? How many times? I did in four different times in my career. I've had over 50,000 of issue paid premium in a month. Guys, you look at me, you meet me, you see how that wow, if you can do it, I can do it kind of attitude. And I want you to have that attitude. I want to say that what's most of course, what makes, I think, any agent the most special is the more that you can relate with somebody when you're sitting down with them in a home. And I pride myself on that. So if there's anything that I can emphasize to help you to be able to connect more, that's where it's at. In this business, unlike several other types of insurances that you sell, in this business especially, is the way that you have empathy, not sympathy, but empathy for another person, that you're willing to bleed with them, just not ask them to bleed. And of course, I will always fall back on my personal relationship with Jesus Christ, that's why I can relate with other people, because I have a heart for other people. I want to be able to share eternity with them. And my goodness, if you can't try to get along with somebody down here and do what's best in their interest, that's a no-brainer then. So if you have that type of spirit, and that's what I think you'll hear coming out of Mr. Spinner's voice. When you hear John, you're going to hear somebody who is doing just that he's relating with other people. He's caring about other people. And I say this with a little bit of trepidation, because we've got well over 40 states represented on this call. So we're not ready yet, but I'm looking forward to inviting you to be a part of our federal employee benefit program. We've done just a little bit of a beta test this week and rolled it out to just a few states, and looking forward to taking it nationwide. Right now, we're not ready to do that. It's a free lead platform. The average premium that we're finding in people's homes, I say homes because even though they're a federal employee, if we do a seminar on a federal property, whether it's a post office or a VA hospital, we're out doing seminars now and inviting employees to say, we can come out and be an advisor to help you with your benefits. John will tell you a little bit about that program. Oh my goodness. As a 30-year-old, John and Jeff submitted in business over $150,000 last week. Wrap your mind around those numbers. Remember, in the mortgage protection program, let's just say that you're on a 75% your 75% contract. Let's say not even in the top 5 last week, but let's just say you helped 5 families last week. $5,000, you multiply that times 75%, you just are on track to make over $150,000 this year by helping 5 families on a 75% contract. If you're on a higher contract, that's a ridiculous amount of income compared to the national average. Follow through with those numbers. You helped 5 persons last week. You wrote $5,000. Multiply that times a 75% contract. You will be paid $3,750 on a 75% contract. John is not on a 75% contract. So when Jeff goes out and writes business, it doesn't take them very much time at all to get $100,000 of personal income. But really what I want you to focus in on, and John, I don't see you on the list here, so I may have to call you. If you hear me, is there any way for you to be able to unmute your mic? Do I have you, John? I may have to call John on his cell phone, because we always end up with some of these issues every now and then. John, do I have you? Tell you what, let's go ahead and just call him on the cell phone. I think we'll be able to get him to come through just as well on there as well. But
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Mr. John,
Hey.
I wasn't able to connect with you on the webinar, but I'm glad that we could connect with you on the phone.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I could hear you loud and clear. So,
I figured that. I hear that every now and then, but so you heard the intro, you've heard how I've set you up, and I want these agents. You are now we've crept. My goodness, John, we're well over 40 states listening to you, and they want to hear from you. How can they duplicate what you've done? You and Jeff have
cool.
just built an incredible agency. And how old are you now?
I'm 32 and Jeff is 29.
And you're celebrating a beautiful new baby in the family, and
That's
I
correct. Yep.
know house and goodness, you guys are just crazy, and yet you're blowing up the world in mortgage protection and the federal employee program. But I want you to just maybe to start why you even got started in the business, how that you got started, and what it's doing for you and your family.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And guys, I'm going to echo what Tim said. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Um, there is there isn't a whole lot of magic to this business. You know, regardless of your level of sales ability, if you work the system and work the numbers, you're going to make money, plain and simple. I mean, you're on a great lead-based platform, which makes all the difference in the world. And if you put the time and energy in, you will make six figures in this business, hands down. If you work hard enough and learn from, wow, what a great group of mentors you guys gotten the luxury to have, and I say that not in jest. I mean, it is unbelievable that you can get this type of collaboration on a weekly basis from top producers in the country. And I'll start from the beginning and then kind of lead into that too, because I personally learned the mortgage protection market from people that you regularly have on your conference calls, Tim Lankford, Josh Civic. I learned by osmosis through them because I'm a final expense guy originally, and the mortgage market was something very new to me, but it's been one heck of a blessing to me and my family for sure. But I'll start from the beginning. I've been in the business about a decade. I was fortunate enough to get started very early by mistake, like so many people do in insurance. I was the assistant wrestling coach for my college, and pays a whopping $2,500 a year. I was getting my master's for free, but the actual income sign, it was pretty paltry at best. So I was looking for a job, and I actually answered a newspaper article, a newspaper advertisement that said looking for sports-minded individuals with the desire to get paid based on performance. I was like, hey, that sounds like me. Show up for the interview having no idea what to expect, and sure enough, it's an insurance job, not something I ever thought of doing. And like, yeah, you know what? Why not? Everything sounded good. The guys interviewed me were young. They were driving nice cars. I'm like, well, hey, going back to the original, if they're able to do it, I'm definitely able to do it. So started, had a pretty terrible first experience, like most people do in the business. For those of you who got to link on to Tim right out of the gate, you have no idea how truly fortunate and blessed you are. Most of us have to take some hard lumps before we get that kind of opportunity. But it's a rough company, captive company, working on a 35% commission and no real leads to speak of beyond that. We were doing it the old-fashioned way. We were working through our natural markets, doing a lot of cold calling. We'd cold call, 20, 30 businesses a day. We'd also, when we did get an appointment at somebody's home, we'd go and knock on the doors on either side. And then across the street, we called it the T system and say, hey, you know what? I've just seen Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so. And I believe what they were looking at might interest you also. Do you have a few minutes, or can we set another time? So I did that for a couple of years, worked my way up to middle management, and still was barely able, working 70, 80 hours a week to make a good living. It was, if I worked it down to an hourly basis, I really wasn't making much at all. Forayed into the independent side, initially on final expense, and my first year doing final expense on a lead-based platform, I made $100,000, and I was like, all right, I've got something here. Met my partner, Jeff Birch, actually recruiting him as an agent initially, and recognized from just a couple days riding with him that he was already better than I was. And one thing you always have to be willing to do in this business is put your ego aside. You always need to be humble, and you're going to run across some phenoms, and just sit back and learn from them. And that's exactly what I did. And Jeff, was a stellar producer. We were winning, on the final expense side, winning incentive trips, etc., doing really well. In 2013, we said, hey, let's build an agency. We've got something here. Started the agency build and final expense. Got up to a $2.5 million agency. Then we got a career-changing moment where we got introduced to mortgage protection, and with guys like Tim Lankford and Josh Civic. And I don't know who else you've had on the calls, but some few other just phenomenal people. Did you ever have Joe Bird on any calls, Tim?
I did not, but Aaron, as well as Chris Lewis.
Aaron Croft, yeah, Chris Lewis.
Yeah.
So we got to learn by osmosis, just absorbing what the unbelievable amount of knowledge that group of people have worked hard and diligently to acquire by doing it themselves. And anything they tell you isn't just theory. It's real world proven. They've been there, done that, and got the T-shirts. So it was awesome. We just got to learn how to sell from those guys, and everybody who you've already heard from. And then we started selling in mortgage protection and agency building. And personally myself, I've been out of the field really since 2014, just because the day-to-day management aspects have kind of taken too much of my time to really go sell. And I've always said too, when my overrides got to be what I was making on personal production, that I would stop personal production so I could have more quality time with my family. And again, I was blessed and fortunate enough to get to that point. So Jeff still personally produces, and he goes out just a day and a half a week usually, and he'll usually rate between $3,000 to $5,000 in premium on the weeks he does go out to work. Again, using the same systems that you guys are having laid out in front of you, and adding mortgage protection and the federal program into our repertoire has taken us from a $2.5 million agency to, if we factor all carriers, we're probably tracking close to $10 million in life premium this year from an agency standpoint. And it's
I want people to let that settle in. You throw out those numbers so quickly, Mr. Spinner. Try to fathom, guys, what you have on the phone with you. Somebody who, let's just say, now building an agency, you'll have anywhere from a 30, 40, 50% override to some of your top producers, 5, 10%. But let's just say a basic 15% override. Why do you want to? You remember the levels chart I sent out a couple weeks ago? Everyone on this call, I'll send it out again. But the levels chart, why do you want to build an agency? Well, John doesn't produce, yet his agency will do somewhere around $10 million this year. Let's say an average override of, let's just say 15%. I went to public school, so my math not that great, but 10 million times 15% is 1.5 million in income. So, John, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I had to have people hear your numbers really broken down. What does that mean for folks? John's been doing it for less than 10 years. So I don't care if you're in your 20s. I don't care if you're in your 70s. It doesn't matter. You look at the right side of the way that you can build an agency, and you can be earning the same type of income in less than 10 years by doing the same thing that John has done. So really building an agency has been just what, about 4 years for you then, right, John?
Yeah, actually even a little shy. It was July 2013 when we formed our corporation and really started attacking. But it's, it hasn't been us. when you have a great system, all you want to do, and you get the word out, I mean, it's just going to come to you. And a two-part thing, as far as building, no different than being with your clients. If your goal is to help people, instead of, in this case, instead of helping them protect their families, you're helping them earn a great living for their families. If that's your goal and you put helping people first, money just flows. It's it just seems to happen that way. You want to help, just to have that goal to help other people. If you put agents that you're bringing in first, you make sure you give them everything you have to help them succeed. A, you have a vested interest, but B, if you just do it with that mindset, say, I want to get this guy to be, or this gal to be a $250,000 a year income earner. Jeff and I had a couple projects along the way when we recognized talents. Hey, they're already good. What can we do to push them to make $300,000-$400,000 a year? What can we do to drive their business? Whether it's we put incentives out all the time. We reinvest heavily back into your business too and your agents. Don't be afraid to put incentives out. Don't be afraid to really do whatever you can to help drive the business. And just love your people too. I'm fortunate enough to call a lot of people I work with, friends, Tim included. People that you don't mind just talking to on a daily basis, because you're going to have to. Find good, like-minded people. Get the kinship, get the friendship, the camaraderie. It's just going to help your agency grow. And I'm sorry I'm all over the place, guys. I just wanted to kind of make this organic too. And I'll circle back to around what I'm actually supposed to be talking about.
You're good. You're good.
Surround yourself with people that are like you, good people, have the desire for them to succeed as well. And, good things are going to happen to you. And then the second part of not only agency building, but also, because I'm not going to give you any sales pointers, because Tim, Josh, Aaron Croft have given you more than I ever could on the mortgage protection side of things. They've forgotten more than I'll ever know. So I just want to give you overall points of success. The other two, I feel, critical components are first and foremost being positive always. There's always going to be an ebb and flow in this business. The highs are really high, the lows can be really low. Just know a couple things. If you stay positive, good things will always happen. Also, you have a legitimate system, a numbers-based system with the leads. You know that out of 10 leads, you should see X amount of people. You should get X amount of apps. Jeff and I have this saying that either you owe the system or the system owes you. If you know what the numbers are and you have a terrible week, you just get kicked in the teeth all week and you end up making nothing. Know that you're going to have a great week the next week, and it'll all balance out. If you know you're doing $3,000 to $4,000 in annual premium per 10 leads you get, if you get kicked in the teeth and have a $400 in premium week, next week you're going to knock it out of the park and write $8,000. If you know the numbers and you're getting in front of those people consistently, working your leads, it'll always balance out. Some weeks it goes the other way, where you had a heck of a streak where you had 4 weeks in a row where you just caught lightning in a bottle and no one could say no to you. You're going to have a couple down weeks after that. There's just no way around it. No matter how good you are, it's going to happen. But if you stay consistent, get in front of the people, and stay positive. If you're negative, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get what you give, if I can quote that song 100%. If you're negative all the time, you're going to get bad results. But if you just stay positive and just say, hey, you know what, well, I'm having a bad week, but it's going to get better. The system owes me, and the system owes me. The next, it's really a two-part thing, but the next part is just a couple things. Always being gracious and showing gratitude for what you have. I mean, give thanks for both what you have currently, always, and it's always going to keep your mind frame right. And then at the other flip side of that, be thankful for what you don't have yet. Speak it into existence is something that I say to everybody all the time. Speak it into existence. There's about 30 scriptural references basically saying the exact same thing. Um, and I mean, it's I have them written down as I've found them throughout the years. I mean, it's unbelievable how many times it's referenced in the Bible, and it's awesome just to think that. I mean, it's right there. Speak it into existence and believe it as you speak it. So always give your gratitude for what you are thankful for in your life, your family, your health, the fact that you are able to do this job. Always give thanks for that, and then give thanks for what hasn't come yet, and speak it into existence. So those are that pretty much just wraps up my overall philosophy and just some things to keep in mind as you're not only growing on the personal production side, but on the agency side as well, that have really, I think, catapulted us and really driven our business. And on the technical side and the actual sales components, know what you have in front of you. You guys have an unbelievable wealth of knowledge right at your fingertips. Some of the best producers in the country that regularly come on and share with you tips. Plus, it seems just based on the leaderboard, there's quite a bit of talent as well. Those numbers are impressive. The number one agent, I didn't catch her name. I missed that part, but to submit that kind of premium, it's unbelievable. That's a phenomenal number, and really the top five submitting that kind of premium. I mean, that's awesome. That's a really, really good accomplishment. You should definitely be proud of that. So you have not only the guest speakers with a ton of talent, but talent right within the organization. Learn from that. Be a sponge. You're in the right spot, and then just continue to work it technically the same way you are, because clearly it is working. And sorry for all the rambling, guys. I'll lead into what Tim, I think, probably wanted me to lead with, but the federal market is our new initiative. It's very much in its infancy at this point, and it's a very, very selective rollout. Currently, it's only in the hands of a few agents, and the numbers that they're putting up, I thought mortgage protection was great, the best I'd seen at the time. It blows mortgage protection out of the water, if that's possible. It's a nice program. It's on a free lead platform right now, so you won't have lead expense, and you'll have access to a great wealth of clients. The federal marketplace is unlike something I've ever seen. First of all, the leads that are generated have a great set ratio. People are very happy to see you and hear from you. And federal employees are starved for knowledge. No one educates them on what they have. They don't know how any of their benefits work as a whole. I mean, it's a unicorn to find a federal employee that actually understands how any of their benefits work. So you're seen as an advisor right out of the gate and somebody who's really out there to help them. You'll have a wealth of knowledge to present to them. You'll have instant credibility, and they're going to listen to what you say, especially when you show them exactly what they have and what they don't have as a federal employee. A lot of times it's going to shock them. The life sale is incredible. Our annual premiums are, in some cases, you guys will actually get to learn from probably you may be the top producer for federal in the federal marketplace in the entire country across all organizations. And you'll get to learn his actual presentation too, which for me was an earth-shattering thing. It just made so much sense as he went through it, and I was ready to buy from him when I heard it. I wanted to get signed up as well. I'm not even a federal employee. You'll get to learn from him as well. Now, his average AP is nearly $4,000 per client that he sees. That's his average case, is $4,000 in annual premium. Again, you don't need a degree in math to start adding those numbers up. You make a few of those sales a week, you are sitting pretty. The federal marketplace also has a tremendous opportunity to roll a lot of money over into big annuities. Any federal employee you meet who's over the age of 59 and a half can take their TSP. which in almost all cases is a very underperforming investment. They have abysmal returns on pretty much every fund that's available to them, and you have the historical numbers on that. There's not much upside potential there, and there's plenty of downside risk. And they're in a bad spot. However, they all have a lot of money, even with all that being said, because the federal government contributes for them, even if they don't contribute, and they match if they do. So a lot of these people you'll run across will have anywhere from 200 up to, we've seen people with $1 million in their TSP accounts. So it's a tremendous opportunity to find money. And anybody over 59 and a half, which is a good amount of the people that respond to the leads, they're going to be there on a regular basis. I'd say to quantify it, I would say about 15% of the leads that come back are people that have TSP money that you can roll over. So you really have a two-pronged attack, and to have the ability to gain that much life premium. Matthew Duretsky, who will be teaching that presentation I talked about, Matt in his sleep raised $15,000 every week, and 2 weeks ago he submitted $31,000 in premium in a single week. And then to have the annuity rollovers on top, it's just tremendous. I mean, to have the ability to sell so many high-ticket items, truly help people too. I mean, these are people who are just starved for knowledge and direction, and they're not getting it at all from the federal government. They get a giant 1,000-page handbook when they first become an employee, and then God knows where it sits collecting dust, or usually probably just goes in the trash. And then 10, 15, 20, or 30 years down the road, they want to know what they can plan with in the future, and they have no idea. And that's where you come in, and it's a powerful position to be as in an advisor role. And what an opportunity. Now that is going to be a select rollout too. We're going to be very selective from who we bring it to. We want to really develop the market slowly and make sure we only put the highest quality producers on it. So another thing to strive for is you're working in the mortgage protection side. The top producing people will have the opportunity for that program. Initially, it's not going to be rolled out to everybody, so strive towards that too. Not only when you hit the big numbers in the sales side, not only are you making more money, but you're going to have more opportunities opened up for you because you're going to get rewarded for your production. And personally, I was pretty excited when I got introduced to mortgage protection, but the federal market I see is so far above and beyond what mortgage protection can provide, just because of the premium size, and then also the fact that you can roll over a lot of money. And if you can average even $5,000 a week in production on the mortgage protection side, and then you're rolling $300,000 or $400,000 in annuities a month, you're living a pretty good life. And you also have the opportunity to grow and build underneath yourself in that marketplace as well, just like you will in the mortgage protection. So all around, guys, you're in a great spot to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and then just have a great life for yourselves and your family. And that's about all I have, Tim. Thank you for the time. I appreciate getting to talk. I'm always humbled to get to speak for Tim's group, because I've learned as much out from Tim as he'll ever learn out from me. So I always appreciate the opportunity to talk.
John, you're being very humble. Thank you. I appreciate that. And that was more than everything that I was hoping that it would be. And guys, I appreciate all the questions about the Fed program, but remember how I started the call. we're really just slowly. I want you to catch the heart and the spirit of who we have on the phone, and to be able to say, remember, he's built this on final expense and mortgage protection. Only recently have we got involved with the Fed program. So yes, the Fed program is going to be a phenomenal. Already has. Send me an email. I'll send you the invite, at least to get out on the call on Monday that we're going to do on the Fed program. Our director Richard Reyes and I will be on a call Monday morning that I can invite you to and talk about some of the other successes we're having in the field, and it is exciting to help people. You bring that to mortgage protection, final expense, guys. You have a phenomenal opportunity in your grasp. I can't overemphasize it, that we are just like John said, we are absolutely blessed with an opportunity. I've had some friends say it's like printing money. So I don't want you to go there, but you know what I mean, don't you, John?
Yeah, that's a great analogy. It really is.
Ouch.
You guys have a money making machine.
Oh my goodness, in more ways than one. Um, let's see. Kim's asking any tips for getting daytime activity in mortgage protection versus just final expense, which is daytime work. Um, Kim, I'll probably go ahead and handle that. With the mortgage protection, I'll say 75% of your business in mortgage protection is going to be either evening or weekend on our lead, just like what the leads that John's partner Jeff runs with from our lead source. It pretty much tells you when to call them. If they're telling you to call them during the day, that will typically be indicative of when they want to meet with you, especially with their age. If you see somebody in their 60s, of course, 70s, that's going to be also indicative. That can be a daytime appointment. And when I'm running my day, I start with 8 a.m. I say, I've got an 8 a.m. available. How does that work for you and your spouse? Or if you found out if he or she is married or engaged or significant other, does that work for you? And then that is the easiest way to try to set up. Don't offer any other time other than during the day. But yeah, if they say they both work, you don't have any options there. John, any closing words before I close our call to kick people off on a tremendous weekend?
No, that's all I have. Just know that you're in great hands, and the system you have in front of you works. And if the system works, work the system. Just do what you need to do. Get in front of the amount of people you need to get. Find a way to get enough phone time in to get in front of those people, and the numbers are going to work themselves out.
Whether it's what we call a brand new fresh lead, you're going to call it a zero lead, A1 lead that maybe older, hasn't been purchased yet, or B leads that are aged leads, they all work, don't they, John?
They absolutely do. I mean, I love B leads personally. Jeff gravitates towards them personally. I mean, he works more B leads than anybody. The one technical thing that I can give you on the B leads, and it's something that we picked up recently on a meeting that Tim was in as well. And Jeff just used it a couple of times, and he couldn't believe how well it's actually worked for setting B lead appointments. As you're hammering through the B leads, the worst objection you can get is, "Oh, I already took care of that." If I can give you one line that we learned from an absolute legend in the business himself, who we are, developing a budding relationship with. He says, "Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I assume you picked the free program."
I love that. I've shared
What a
that.
powerful line. Just from using that, Jeff said he's sitting at 100% booking appointments on that line. What do you mean the free program? Well, you have an option for a program that doesn't cost you anything. What? Yeah. It's a program that if you don't use it, you get all your money back. I'm assuming that's the one they put you on, right? The free one? Well, I don't know. Well, you know what? You may not actually qualify for it, but I can tell you in about 15 minutes if you do, and I can explain it to you, and then just set the appointment from there. So it's just B leads are gold. You can get a ton of business out of them, especially when if they've already been worked. It seems like it's even easier to get in front of them, which is crazy. They've been sold. Normally when you see, "Oh, they've been sold. Oh, let's toss that one away." You only have a second to get the line in by saying, "Oh, I'm assuming you chose the free program then, huh?" It's an immediate tension grabber. Nobody's going to hang up on you. Like, what do you mean? Well, you have an option on the free program if you qualify. I'm assuming you would have taken that one, right? And they don't know what you're talking about. I say, well, you know, it may be that you just don't qualify, but if I can just take 15 minutes of your time, I can go over the program and see if you are eligible for it. And it's a slam dunk, and it's a powerful premium getter when you have somebody who just took out a plain Jane term policy. You show them a return to premium option. The good thing about the mortgage market now compared to what it was when Tim started working, when Tim was working it, if you could fog a mirror, you're getting a mortgage. It didn't always mean you had expendable income. Just having to go through the home buying process recently myself, I got pretty intimate with it. You have to be doing well financially, have a great debt to income ratio, have extra spendable income in your budget just to get a mortgage now. These are people that can afford $200 to $300 a month. Most of them aren't given the option to spend more. When you start giving them an option to spend more, you get some big deals out of it. So absolutely, B leads are great. A lead is a lead is a lead. A leads are obviously awesome. We know what the numbers are on those. You should get 3 to 4 apps per 10 without fail. Even if you're having a rough week, but don't let those other leads slide. Those are great opportunities to get in front of people if you pound the phone hard on them. It's a never leave a lead unturned. You'll make tons of sales off A minus and B leads. I mean, A minus leads essentially an A lead anyways, because it's never been worked for the most part. And then B leads, it's not a negative if it has been worked. That's the worst thing that can happen, is that they've already said yes to somebody else, which isn't a bad thing because you have different programs you can offer. And you got, Tim, everybody on the phone has Phoenix too, right?
Yes, they should.
You'll get, if you can't get them on the free program with the return of premium, if you're going in after an agent, 9 out of 10 times they sold a higher priced simplified issue product. You always have the option of throwing in the safe harbor product and beating the premium. Now, we don't like to push it too much because it takes a long time to get paid on, but I mean, those are slam dunk replacements all day long. If somebody's been in front of you and you if they're just have a plain Jane term and they can't afford a return to premium, just pop that Phoenix in front of them, and I mean, that's a slam dunk. Actually, I shouldn't say that's a layup because not everybody can dunk. It's those are nice. Those are gimmies. I'm sure Josh Civic, that's probably a quarter of his business is going in and writing Phoenixes on people that already have protection in place because they're paying so much more. Don't let those B leads go to waste. They're a phenomenal opportunity to sell. You just have to, again, with B leads, it all comes down to mindset. If you believe there's gold in the B leads, there's going to be gold in the B leads. You're going to work it just like you do an A lead. Not just like you do because the approach is different, but you work it with the same energy you work an A lead. You're going to get in front of B lead people, and you're going to get some big premiums out of them. They're buyers already, a lot of them, and you just need to show them a better program.
And that is a perfect way to transition into our Tuesday webinar. So every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, training webinar. And, we really try to focus more on mortgage protection, a little bit of final expense than anything else. Once we completely roll out the Fed program, that will be a separate training call all by itself, and training that we're starting to do now at a very, very limited basis. But Tuesday, 11 a.m., Biff Baker is going to be on, who's an executive with Phoenix, who will be able to share from 18 to 80 years old, guys. 18 to 80, you can write up to $500,000 simplified issue. That means you're not asking them to pull down their pants and pee in a bucket, and you're not asking some nurse to come in and suck out blood out of their arm. That's pretty vivid, I know, but that's how much I abhor the fully underwritten stuff that will just not get you a good run rate of getting people approved. Go simplified, guys. Go simplified. John, thank you for your time, my friend. I appreciate you in so many ways, and look forward to just kicking this thing in high gear with you and Jeff.
Sounds great, Tim. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of the day. Everybody else, thank you for your time too. And and go out and make it happen next week.
Absolutely. Guys, as
Or tomorrow.
Or even tomorrow. Guys, as I share with you every call, be an agent who's making it happen. Make it happen with your income. Make it happen with with your family, with church, with their charity. So number one, your income will just you want to focus on that, beef that thing up. Number two, you're going to bless your family with that income. Number three, though, if you do number three, the first two always gets taken care of. If you go out and make it happen for that family in the field, take it seriously when you get one of these leads. Whether it's a year-old or a two-year-old lead or something you just got in yesterday, take it serious. Take it to the point where you are going to help that family that may be kind of the husband may be kind of dumb about we've kind of changed our mind. Well, you get better on the phone, you get a better phone script, you go by the phone scripts I send out, make available for you. You'll be able to overcome more than half of those objections. You be a family, you be a person to go makes it happen to those family in the field. Guys, God bless you. I'm honored that you chose today to be with us. Even today is considered a Good Friday. I don't know why we call next Friday good. Certainly wasn't good for our Lord and Savior, but we are going to be here next Friday. After that, I leave after the call next Friday morning to be focused on what I call Super Bowl weekend. In the Christian faith, this next weekend is Super Bowl. I love Christmas and all the festivities. However, if you are following our Savior, you know the significance of this next weekend, and it is huge in our family, and I hope it is huge in your family as well. Be an agent who's making it happen, guys. God bless you.